Therefore, the deputy shogun and his family cooperated with the other clans to maintain stability in the shogunate. It was an efficient system when the clans were internally cohesive and interacted well. Their rivalry ensured that no single clan dominated. But when the clans were not strong, or when tensions arose among the deputy shogun families, the shogunate weakened. Disputes that broke out within these families were tied to issues of who would control the shogunate at any given moment. Moreover, military governors, in what was a temporary post with little authority during the Kamakura era, gradually began to function as semi-autonomous lords. It was easy to dismiss the Ashikaga clan entirely after the death of its last great leader, the third shogun, Yoshimitsu. Even after he retired, he still controlled the shogunate through his son, the fourth shogun. Warriors, nobles, and even the Ming Chinese respected Yoshimitsu, but they despised his son. The fifth shogun died young, and the sixth shogun, Yoshinori, who showed some real ability to rule, was deemed too tyrannical by many of the important military families. And for good reason. Cooks who underperformed, gardeners who broke a tree branch on a plum tree, 59 members of the nobility, and even some warriors were killed, purged, or fled for their lives from his wrath. The military governor Akamatsu Mitsuhide brutally assassinated Yoshinori after learning that Yoshinori might take land from him and give it to someone else. Mitsuhide held a party in his villa on the outskirts of Kyoto and invited Yoshinori and other prominent warriors to partake in a favorite warrior pastime, viewing no theater. Horses suddenly rushed through the gardens, creating a distraction and allowing the assassins to break in and decapitate Yoshinori. A courtier at the time wrote that Yoshinori died like a dog. His son, the seventh shogun, died in childhood, so the shogun's position passed to another son, the much-maligned Yoshimasa. Although Yoshimasa represented the height of warrior involvement in noble culture, he was an accomplished poet. He was an indecisive shogun who had just enough influence in the shogunate to destroy it. Wanting to retire and having failed to produce an heir, he asked his brother Yoshimi to take over the shogun position. He planned to formally adopt his brother, a common solution for warriors who needed to secure an heir when no biological son was forthcoming. Yoshimi, quite rightly, was suspicious. What if Yoshimasa's wife suddenly gave birth to a son? And besides, Yoshimi, like other noble sons no longer in line to become head of the family, was happily ensconced in an unrelated career. In his case, as a Buddhist abbot. Unfortunately for everyone involved, after Yoshimi accepted his brother's offer, Yoshimasa's wife gave birth to a son. The various supporters of Yoshimi and his newborn nephew battled it out in Kyoto, exacerbating an already volatile situation that grew into the Onin War. The fighting of the Onin War signaled a shift toward a new kind of combat. Although some of the fighting occurred in the countryside, most of it took place inside the city of Kyoto itself. It represented neither the earlier logic of hunting criminals and rebels, nor the engagement of participants in open field combat. Defensive blocks of men armed with pikes proved better suited to urban warfare than mounted warriors. Fighting occurred haphazardly in yards, gardens, and streets by those who were not warriors as such, but commoners recruited to fill the ranks of otherwise small armies. The purpose was simply to defeat an enemy, and in many cases to exact revenge. In previous wars, when an elite opponent was not decapitated, he would be allowed to retire in exile. But during the Onin War, violence was so intense that some warriors made cups from an enemy's lacquered skull. The war was so devastating that when a reporter asked the 17th head of the Hosokawa family, Hosokawa Morisada, father of Prime Minister Hosokawa Morihiro, 1993-94, about his family's legacy, Morisada replied, "Yes, our family used to have many excellent treasures, but they burned up."